Priya Hariprasad. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to the world of economics. Hope that you all are fine, safe and happy. Today I am going to explain returns to scale. In the previous video I have explained law of variable proportions that is related to short run production function. Here we are going to learn returns to scale that is related to long run production function. Before that, please try to subscribe my channel. Please support my channel. Your support is my strength. Okay, then come, let's learn together. Let's begin the class. We don't want to waste our valuable time. Returns to scale. Okay, returns to scale is related to long run production function. Returns to scale is related to long run production function, whereas returns to a factor is related to short run production function. Keep it in your mind. Returns to a factor is related to short run production function. We are going to learn returns to scale that is related to long run production function. Okay, then come to the point. What is returns to scale? It is a variation or change in the productivity that is the outcome from a proportionate increase of all the input. Okay, returns to scale is the variation or change in productivity, variation or change in productivity, or change in the volume of production. Okay, due to changes in the level of input, Okay, changes in the volume of production due to changes in the level of input, that is returns to scale. Okay, returns to scale is the variation or change in productivity or volume of production that is the outcome from a proportionate increase of all the input. Okay, when the producer tries to increase in the level of input, the output, the volume of output, the volume of production or the productivity will also change. Okay, that is returns to scale. Okay, so returns to scale is the variation or change in the productivity that is the outcome from a proportionate increase of all the input. Got it? That is returns to scale. And we have three stages: increasing returns, diminishing returns or decreasing returns to scale, and constant returns to scale. Increasing returns to scale, decreasing or diminishing returns to scale, and finally constant returns to scale. Okay, first one, increasing returns to scale. Changes in the level of input will lead to a more than proportionate changes in the level of output, that is increasing returns to scale. Okay, that means output increases by a larger proportion than the increase in inputs. Output increases by a larger proportion than the increase in inputs, that is increasing returns to scale. Example, if the input increased by 3%, the output will increase by more than 3%, 4 or like that. Okay, that is increasing returns. Okay, more than proportionate change in the level of output, that is increasing return. 3% changes in the level of input, increment, that is 3%. Okay, then changes in the level of output or increment in the level of output, what is more than 3%, 4 or 5% will be there. That is what is increasing returns. Okay, output increases by a larger proportion than the increase in input, that is increasing returns. Okay, and see, this is the diagram. In this diagram you can see output increases by 3%, input increases by 3%, output increases by 4%. Feel the difference, this gap and this gap, feel the difference. Okay, this is the diagram. IQ1, IQ2, IQ3 are the three different isocones. X-axis represents labor and Y-axis represents capital. Okay, then increment in labor and capital is this much only, but increment in the level of output is this much. Got it? Feel the gap, the difference in the gap. Got it? Okay, that is increasing returns. Then second one, decreasing returns or diminishing returns. Changes in the level of inputs will lead to a less than proportionate changes in the level of output. Less than proportionate. That means proportion of output is less than the desired increased input. Less than the desired input. Okay, that means if the level of input increased by 3%, the level of output will increase by only 2%, less than 3, only 2%. Okay, that is less than 3. So proportion of output is less than the desired increased input, less than the desired input. That means changes in the level of input will leads to a less than proportionate changes in the level of output. That is what is decreasing returns or diminishing returns. Okay, input will increase by 3%, output will increase by less than 3%, 2 or 1 like that. Got it? See, in this diagram you can see that, okay, that will be clear. See, input factors, labor, both labor and factor increased by 3%, whereas output increased by only 2%. Okay, that is the difference. Fill the gap. Input increased by this much, output increased by this much only. Fill the gap. Okay, second one. Okay, now third one. Constant returns to scale. We already know that. Okay, same proportionate change, same proportional. Okay, proportionate increase in output is exactly equal to the increase in input. Changes in the level of input will be equal to changes in the level of output. Okay, changes in the level of will be equal to changes in the level of input. Both the output, both will be equal. If input increased by 25%, output will also increase by 25%. Okay, if input increased by 3%, output will also increase by what is 3%? Same proportion. That is constant returns to scale. That is constant returns to scale. Okay, proportionate increase in output is exactly equal to increase in input. Okay, level changes in the level of input will be equal to changes in the level of output. That is constant returns to scale. See in this diagram, these gaps are same only. Okay, changes in the level of input also, changes in the level of output also same. This will go like this only. The gap between two isopones will be same. Like this only it will go like this. Okay, got it? Okay, feel the difference. If any doubt, please let me know. Please, I'm not going to repeat again, because otherwise the video will be lengthy. That's why. Okay, please you repeat the video. Okay then, thank you. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye.